Single wing coach in the nation. I'm West Coast bias. Okay, plays with the big boys. I still want to see you play Polly.
I know.
We're trying.
Almost. We almost got him. We almost played him.
I'm gonna, my buddy's a D coordinator. I'm gonna call him harassing.
Tell
Tell me he's a chick. You don't want to play.
Make it a fun game.
All right, we got Harold Strauss, Colton High School.
Always fun to be here. I said we were talking. I told David, you know what? I said this is the greatest group you got walked into. Because, and I say this all the time. You know, but man, I've never found a better group of guys. You know, coaching itself is a network, but single wing group is unbelievable. My contact information's on there. It'll be at the end too. So if you ever want to get a hold of me, we all know we beg, steal from everybody, and I've done the same. I wish I could have met. I told David I wish I could have met Piper, because he not only did he influence ours, but Chris Chrysler and him probably the biggest influence. We run a little bit of everybody's, but the way he wanted to draw and run everything in every formation and run that's us. So I thought, man, it'd been great to get to meet him in person. So anyway, you guys, most of you guys know me. We run double wing and single wing. I've been doing a lot of talking, get a lot of emails and phone calls from all over getting them from Canada now. But wanting to merge, because double wing got real popular. It's starting to gain a little popularity again too with the single wing, and they want to merge them and run them together. And it's just been good for us. You know, I think there's some years people ask me how much do you run of each. It just really depends on the year and who we're playing, because sometimes people over prepare for one, and then they give you the other, and that's how we kind of play it by ear. So I like all the misdirection as opposed to the double wing. That's why we really went to the single wing. Double wing had a kind of a stigma, you know, Markham. I'm a Markham guy, not a Hugh Wyatt guy by any means. And I always make that clear, just because of, I don't know. Anyway, he knew how to market things much better than Markham. And but he had a thing, when you got behind, if Markham ever got behind, it was hard to catch up, because you're in that double wing, you're more of a clock eater. And it's true. And so that's one reason I went looking for something else, and found the single wing. And we found we could score quick, and we're still running, eat the clock up, but we just break them all the time. And you guys run it, you know, man, how fast you can break it. So that's how we evolved, really. In our double wing, we're going to talk about the sweep today. And it kind of picks up off of last year, because this is probably a 3 or 4 hour presentation. And so I can change and do bits and pieces wherever I take it and I'm asked to speak. I'm actually speaking more on philosophy. I wish David would have stayed, because we talked for a little while about that. But I'm talking more philosophy presentations probably than I ever have been, being the old, wiser guy that I am. No, I'm just falling apart. So. But it's a big deal to me. Young coaches today, I want to see you guys make it, survive. I've been doing it 30 years. This last year, I just finished 30 years, and going on 31 this year. And my coach's been doing it, Rick, my line coach's been doing it for a long time, over 20 years. And I know some of you guys have, but other than that, we're losing coaches that are young. It's tough. It's not like it was in the old days. You know, it takes 10 times more time, dedication, and family time, and so there's ways to get around that help me, that I want to pass on. So I'm talking more philosophy, and I'm going to hit a little bit of that in a minute, because I always do. But we're talking the sweep. This is our double wing sweep, and it's and I'm going to leave most of the blocking to Rick, because he's after me and he's going to talk about the blocking. But we are, you can call us SAB. We're really a down block team. SAB came in after the down block, and it's really the same thing, except for Doc and I, we always argue, and Rick, we get in arguments, and we figured that our down block is actually more severe than the severe line block, or severe angle blocking. I had to get that. So, but we came to a conclusion with Doc that ours is actually, it really is, and Rick will explain that later. But we always pull both guards, and we have some other line calls where we actually pull the tackles or the ends. We could do some different things. But what I want to talk to you about, we talked about, and this is our blocking for our double wing sweep. We sweep, the last 2 years, we sweep. We probably run sweep more than, almost twice as much as anything else. People know the sweep is coming. I believe you can sweep still. Not when we proved it, you can still sweep on good, fast. Everybody we play is faster than us. Everybody we played last year is bigger than us. And we still ran it for over 4,000 yards last year, and almost beat Rancho Cucamonga, who won our division. They were undefeated. We were the only team that took them. Man, we had them beat in the fourth quarter and lost on a couple of pass plays, but it kind of still eats away at us. But anyway, they athletic, big, strong, undefeated, and we had them on the ropes. And they knew we were going to sweep, but we still, you'll see it in the film, we swept. And a lot of that is just because of the blocking things we do and the formations. And last year I talked on running the same play out of the formations. Today what I'd like to talk a little bit more about is moving people around. It's still formation changes, but using motion, using, you can dictate, and it's like he talked about his dad, David talked about his dad. They had that tough linebacker, so they had this guy go in motion, so the linebacker followed him. That's basically what you do with people. You can move people wherever you want. The spreads everybody out. They want everybody open. Well, we do the same thing. That's our whole philosophy is we guess at who's going to do this and who's going to do that, and sure enough, we're pretty close most of the time, and it opens up some areas for us. So we shift our single wing. You guys know that. A lot of it's anybody that's followed us. We came up with a shift, and give Coach the credit for that. It's been good to us. We get a lot of yards off of that. Although we tell them we don't do it for that reason, we just do it for whatever reason I can lie about. But anyway, the thing I like about the single wing is you get much more misdirection in your sweep, and that's the other thing we're going to emphasize today is adding misdirection into your sweep because you freeze people. And I think those freezing people and moving and being able to dictate where the defense is going to put their defense on you are two of the biggest things to make your offense successful. I think those two, if I had any other factors for doing what we do, that's why we do what we do, formations and movement. We can shift. These are just 4 of our formations, but just to show you, we shift to box, shift to spread. Our spread came directly from Ahern. Give Jim all that credit. He's great guy, great coach. His empty set, same thing. I don't know who got the triple spinner, but we call it star for us. Okay. So I talked a little bit of that. Little background. I still say, and this is my little tidbit about philosophy that I had to stick in here, that school and kids and the community, those are the 3 things we have to deal with. You know what? How we deal with them is how long we survive as coaches, I think. It's not rocket science. People keep saying kids have changed. I differ. I just don't believe that. I think society has changed. Kids are really the same. They have much more to deal with. They have some harsher things to deal with than they did in the old days. But kids are still looking for one thing. They're looking for love. And I really believe that. Coach, you got it going. And what he said was that's what David felt. You know, the fact that they need someone to love them. Gangs will love them in a second for a little while before they screw up their lives. But that's how they suck them in. So the one thing we got to do is love our kids. I've been doing it 30 years. My record is whatever, something like that. I put some deals in. I've head coached 72 varsity teams, 62 of those, 69 to go to the playoffs, 6 times the CIF championship, only won 2 of them. Just getting there, I guess, is fun. 40 league championships, 23 all-star games, yada, 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 yada. More important than wins and losses, what are we doing for kids? Bottom line, coaches, what are we doing for kids? There's ways to tell what we're doing for kids by what's happening in their lives. How are they doing in the classroom? How are they doing at home? How are they doing? Are we emphasizing those kind of things? We need to be doing it because the only place they're going to hear it sometimes is out at your practice or in your room, team room, watch film time, whenever you're spending time together, kicking around, whenever those kids come into your office to sit down and talk and joke around in a weight room, they spend more time with us than they spend with their family most of the time. So what are we doing for kids? Players going to college. I show the years, we've talked about this before, but when I got there it was 10% not playing football, just 10% period. Maybe 1 kid out of the program, maybe none were going to college. We've had 100%, 3 out of the last 4 years. One of those went in the military. At least went to college. We've got now 30 players this year, this fall, 30 players we play in college football. That doesn't include all the other people who would just be in college, but 30 players playing across. We've changed the attitude at our school. And our school is anybody knows our demographic, 77% Hispanic, 75% of the population is not even eligible to play sports. They can't speak English, so how are they going to get eligible? It's kind of a crazy thing. And then we take away the general classes for them, because we want to perform up here. It's catch-22 in education, but hopefully we can figure that out one of these days. But take those principles as a coach and break it down. Let's break life down for those kids. That's what it's about. And I think that's where we're going wrong with some situations. So what's my point? Okay, this is my point. I went to NFL Youth Summit. One coach gets there from California every year. And it's the neatest thing. It's been going on about 10 years now. If you ever get the opportunity, I don't even know how I got it. Somebody recommended it, and they called me and said, hey, and they flew me out and wined and dined me. But the sessions were unbelievable, unbelievable. The thing that out of the whole week I was there, they said the average lifespan, coaching lifespan, not your life, live and die, but your coaching lifespan of the football coach is now 7 years. And then you hear the old adage, they retired, you open the paper and it says so-and-so retired, or he resigned due to health reasons, or what? Spend more time with my family, right? The two things, bunch of bunk, because usually it's there's so much pressure, the principal said you either got to win or you're fired, or there's a million reasons, but the bottom line is, we got to fix that, because it's like you said, I still believe this is the greatest profession in the world, and then I could take my whole hour talking about philosophy. But it is really important, because I look around the room and I see young coaches. And young coaches, man, you got to realize, get your families involved in what you do. We have a higher divorce rate than the divorce rate in just out in the world, in the coaching field. That's a shame. My wife's been doing stats for 30 years. My daughters were water girls. They knew all the players. And my son, and just get them involved. I just tell my coaches, first thing I told them, Rick will tell you, when we got together, was get your families involved. Our wives all sit in the corner of the end zone. Got to get them away from all those people telling us, all the quarterbacks up in the stands.
I was just going to ask, do you also think there's just a sense of things going too far? I mean, it appeared to me like at some point the college guys started saying, I got to spend as much time as the NFL guys.
Oh, yeah.
And then the high school guys say, I got to spend as much time as the college coaches. And at some point, do they got to just say, you know what? I don't need to spend as much time watching film as Bob Stoops does. I'm coaching high school.
My philosophy presentation, that's exactly what it talks about. Keeping up with Jones and the trickle-down syndrome. It has trickled down.
Yeah.
Some of these guys, administrators, think now that we're the NFL.
Yeah.
When Coach and I first started, there was no summer practice.
Yeah.
Then you went to one day during the summer, then okay, so-and-so's doing this 3 days.
Yeah.
Now it's 4 days, now it's all year.
Yeah.
When we first started, there was no summer practice.
Right.
It's pretty crazy. Let me carry it on a little bit more here too, because I think why are coaches giving up? Here's a bigger question for you, I think. At what point? This is my doctoral thesis, so don't nobody steal it, right? No, I'm just kidding. At what point do you sell your beliefs or your morals and ethics in order to win? Pressure, talking about the pressure coming down. I think that's the number one problem today. If I just dissect it, because I have too many friends in this organization, this network, and I watch these young coaches come and go, and I look and think what saved me. And Rick, to this day, he knows me and has worked with me over the years, but we have stood on each other to say we will never recruit anybody. We will never go out we won't break the rules to recruit. We're not going to bow to any board member, any administrator. We're going to do what's right. And that's how we play. We play against coaches that are our best friends that we know don't. And they win, but they got to be miserable. You have to live with yourself inside. And you and I know, I don't have to be a psychologist here telling you, but the bottom line, when you do something against your morals and your beliefs, it eats on you. Pretty soon it's going to eat into your health. Pretty soon you're going to be tired, and pretty soon you're going to want to give it up. So it's really important, guys, to establish what your beliefs are and your morals and live by them. And don't let anybody break them. You know what I said? When it's time, if they want to argue with me about that or they want to tell me to do something different, then it's time for me to hang it up and help coaches somewhere else or get me a job somewhere else. So my personal philosophy is, I said this before, you probably heard it before, is believe in what you do and hold on to what you believe. And I got a little simple story, it won't take long at all, but this is how I do break my own philosophy here. I mean, this is my big philosophy, and 2 years ago, we got a kicker who's a freshman, and now he's a sophomore. Now he's going to be a junior this year.
Senior.
#1 kicker in the nation.
Gonna be a
depending
senior
on what
coach.
rating. Huh?
He's gonna be a senior.
He's going to be a senior. Oh,
Chivas is gonna be a senior.
Chivas going to be a senior this year. Sorry. He kicked for us as a freshman. Well, anybody that knows me, I always go for 2, right? Well, last year, I mean, each year I went, I know it's coming, I'm gonna have to let this kid kick. And so we did, and he doesn't miss, you know, and he hit from 3 from over 50 last year. But we lost our first game with Vista Marietta. They have 8 teams, 350 kids out. We talked to coaches, I don't even know how you do with 350 kids. But anyway, we lost 15-14. If I'd went for 2 twice, we'd have won 16-15. So he made them both, but I could have kicked myself for half the season after it. I kept telling him, you know, if we'd have went for 2 on those 2 for half the season. But you got to believe in, but you also got to be, you also the letter of law, you know, and be able to give in what you believe a little bit too, just as long as it doesn't go against your morals. But we laugh about that because Ochiwo, he's a heck of a kicker. He can hit from 60, and we hardly ever go for 2 now because we know it's a sure one. But sometimes we do if we think about it. But anyway, we've stuck to our philosophy. This has been my philosophy for 30 years, and it will always be my philosophy. Is these things. We live by these things right here. And I sell this to my kids, sell this to my coaches, try and sell it to anybody I talk to, especially new coaches that come out to us, and any information I give them. And if you take care of those 4 things, I promise winning takes care of itself. You don't have to preach winning all the time. If they'll do those things, and you're not going to always get all of them. I have a kid right now, pretty good athlete, he had 5 Fs. And he thought he was going to come out in spring and take everybody's position. I said, you can't take care of the classroom. How are you going to take everybody's position? You know? So not everybody's going to buy it, but the kids who do, and your program is going to excel. You're going to win. And I say try it, test it. So, all right. That's my philosophy. That's all I'm going to preach at you. But I really try and live by those things. So hopefully you can take some of that with you and use it, and you'll be coaching 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. However many long. Talking about sweeps and shovel passes, they complement each other. You got to be able to. The over aggressiveness is we talked about earlier. When you're going to hear from Rick talking about it, but what we've done with our sweep, and we've really done it in the last couple of years because we were going to sweep no matter what, and we were going to run inside and bust at you. We get a ton of people trying to come at us aggressively, so we just dictate our sweep is read by our backs. If that guy comes hard across and into the middle of our sweep, our first guard just turns him out, lets him go where he wants to go, and we just still sweep. We just go right inside of him and reroute and go right up and run our sweep. So we do run traps, a lot of things. I hope you guys have seen us. But they do complement, and that over-aggressiveness, you can still run sweep, and it's a good play. Good outside game opens up the inside game. We all know that, and vice versa. So we don't have to preach a whole lot about that. Forces the defense to play assignment football. This is kind of what we were talking about earlier. We want to dictate, if we got good linebackers or we know they're going to take a safety and he's a great athlete. The best example, we're playing San G a couple years ago and nobody's scoring in the first half. And we decided this guy's coming off the edge and just killing us. It's single wing, double wing, didn't matter what we were running, this guy was fast and a sprinter and he was coming off the edge. So I just said, you know what, take my fullback, our blocking back, and let's put him out there about 20 yards to the left or right. And sure enough, that corner just went right with him. And we just went right down the field, scored 20 points, and won our league championship. And I was like, genius. You know, how was that? You know, but it's true. You know what? You can outsmart some people if you can figure out what they're doing. I like the shovel pass a lot. Shovel pass to me is just another power play or a sweep play, depending on what defense they're in. But I loved it when I saw the quick pitch. We love the quick pitch. Yeah, and saw Coach run it, saw somebody else run it on the other tape. But that's a sweep. To me, that's a sweep. Anything outside really is a sweep. Those spread guys that are throwing that quick pass out, they're running a sweep. They're just getting the ball out there to their best athlete and letting them run with it. Sweep. I don't know why they call it some kind of pass or whatever, screen or whatever they call it.
Bubble screen.
Yeah, bubble screens and darts and all those things. You know, it's not that difficult. So multiple formations and blocking schemes. I think that's the biggest thing. Rick's going to talk blocking schemes. I'm going to talk the formations, and that's where we're going to go today. So, but we want to get them where they're not comfortable. we want to get the defense in positions where they're not comfortable. You get that great athlete who is a backer, he's an outside backer, and that's what he knows, that's what he's been taught, and we send the guy in motion and he's going to take off with him. Or we influence, he reads our guard, so we're going to influence him by going to guards the opposite way. We're going to show you a film in a little bit where we were playing Rancho last year, and they're tough inside, so I finally said, you know what, I know they're reading our fullback, so we sent our fullback one time, the opposite way, linebacker stayed put. Okay, they're not reading our fullback, they must be reading our guards. So I said, send the guards the opposite way, let's just run sweep without the guards. We ran it first play, we got 15 yards, second play, touchdown. You'll see it on film. Their backers are clear on the other side of the field, chasing the guards. You know, it's hilarious. But that's what it's about. Get people where they're not comfortable, and you know what? Make those guys up in the box do their job and adjust to what you're doing. So, what the sweep series has done for us, just give us multiple formations. I'm going to zip through this. Confusion's the biggest thing. We want to cause as much confusion as we can. That's why we spin, that's why we half spin, that's why we do all those things. That's why we're all in here. We want confusion, man. We love that. We live, we thrive. That's a great feeling when you start doing that. People are chasing, running the wrong way and doing that. Oh gosh, I love that feeling. Isn't it? Man, it's better than sex. The most productive plays in our offense past couple of seasons, obviously, has been the sweep. It continues, our offense continues to be the most hated. I used to say the most hated, but now we're getting some love from coaches. They always come up and tell us, we just beat them by 40 points, and they come up and say, I love your offense. And I'm like, you know what, I'll help you run it if you want, you know. Yeah, we need more guys running the single one. Box spin, I still like, out of our sweeps, I'm still probably, we run jet sweep out of a lot of our stuff, you know, as I talked about earlier, our SC formation. We send motion and run a lot of jet sweep, but I still think my favorite is the spin. Any kind of spin in motion where you got two different ways where you can freeze people. So I'm still partial to that. Our alignments, I'm not going to talk a lot about. You guys, most of you have seen it. If you want this presentation, we just run a copy of it on your jump drive real fast. So you've got it. If you had it last year, this is on last year's presentation. We do run the mesh point concept where we snap the ball right between and anybody can take the ball. 1, 2, or 3 back can catch the ball. Although when we do snap it to the 2 back, we do try and give him something to grab at. That formation, we were talking about that a little earlier. Outside, a couple of guys were asking, do you tilt your 2 back? And I said, no, we used to sometimes. It really depends on who this guy is and who this guy is, how good they are at what they do. But we stopped tilting him all the time now. What we have gone to instead is, we put him, I can't really get down anymore that much, but we put him in this position real low, and we let him put his hands here all the time. And the reason why we don't tilt him anymore is because we send him so much on false pulls and to make blocks both ways, or we turn him in motion, it was hard for him to make that turn and go. So now we keep his body straight, and we let him put his hands there all the time. So they're guessing, what we do like about that, with his hands over here, the defense has always got to be thinking that he could get the ball. So they've got to be worried about, is he going to get the ball or not? So, you know, just kind of be in their heads is what we try and do. It's a consistent snapping point for the centers, creates better blocking angles for us. This is the point I always try and bring across for the guys that haven't seen our stuff before. But linebackers always read through the guards to the backs. On almost every defense they do that. So we snap it right here, so their first step is almost always 1 step here or 1 step here, which gives us a better angle, whether you like it or not. I still say it gives us a 1 second head start on the backers if we got to get to them and make blocks. So that's kind of, you know, tidbit, but it's fine point, but we'll take every little detail that we can get. This is our blocking grid. Look familiar to somebody's blocking grid. And it's kind of neat to see that.
You know where I got it.
You bet you did. That's what it's about, right there. That's what it's about.
You're not stealing
Rick's going to talk about this.
buddy.
I'm not going to hit on it a lot because Rick's going to talk more about it. But basically, it's having, for our base blocking scheme, it gives us rules. And with rules, we can run both offenses with all the formations that we do. It doesn't matter what formation we're in. It allows us to block a certain way and have rules. So that's why we do it the way we do. Okay?
Hey, guys, just before Coach goes on, I want you to know he had zone up there. We don't run the zone play. I don't teach zone block.
We're making them.
Yeah, he's trying to make me. I hate the zone. We're not running it. I'm sorry.
We run enough.
Go ahead, Coach.
We run only about enough zone to keep the kids like, okay, you're ready for college now. You know, when you go there.
Let the college coaches teach them.
What's interesting, and you're going to see us this year. The only different, the new, you always coaches always ask me a new twist. What are you doing this year? And I said, well, the big difference is we're going up to Oregon. Coach Bellotti, before he stepped down, invited us up, our staff up, for a week, and we're going to run the Oregon. They call it a triple option, but we're looking at it more as we've got a quarterback to run this year, and so we're going to run that. It's really single wing, but we call it Thunder. You know, when you see our Thunder series, it's that read that opposite end, or you can give them the ball, or take it yourself, or we run the inside trap, or we run jet sweep out of it. So there's all kinds of stuff you can do where we throw out of it, but you can see that little twist in us. So you might see us in some bigger splits this year on some occasions. So that'll be the new little twist. Motion is the biggest thing we want to kind of hit today. Using motion and putting people in different positions. And we can do that by our verbiage. We can put anybody anywhere on the field. Even if we haven't practiced it, we can put them there. And we can do things just by calling something in our verbiage, which is what Coach was saying. I really like it. You know, kind of worked for you. You know, it's like I said, not everything works for everybody. You know, it's kind of like whatever you can take. If anything works for you, it's worth it. That's how I got it, and I just fit it in. And whenever I go to a clinic, I'm saying, how can I use that? And everybody speaks. I don't care if it's a youth guy running 8-year-old stuff to college guys. You know, usually when you go watch at the big clinics, it's college guys, and the first thing you say is, "Well, I don't have those kind of athletes." Well, yeah, but is there a tidbit that I could twist that our guys could do? So that's I go to 10 clinics a year, maybe 11, and I'm an old guy, but I'm always looking for that one thing I can beat you with. You know, so there's always something. Don't ever think we got it all. We call our guy fly back, and our blocking back is our fly. So when we fly motion, okay, anytime it's an F word, we don't call him the bad F word, but if it's an F word, that's our fullback. He's doing something. Flanker, fullback is wide. You know, fly slot, he's going to be in a slot. And there's different things. We call him fly rip, fly Liz, those kind of things. So we just kind of move people around. But our formation changes. You can see how we just kind of, like I said, one of the other things we do, and Coach did it, which is again, gosh, maybe that's why you're winning so much. But we invert our backfield. We don't flip we flip the line, but keep our backfield the same. That's one of our best things because now it looks balanced. And I think that's one of the best things that we've done in a long time. It helps us a lot. You see us do that a lot in whatever we're running. Double wing, single wing formations. Box spin, I just put this, again, just want to say that I still believe it's the best out of everything because it freezes everybody. 38 sweep out of the box. What's our blocking? And I think I'm just going to move along here. It's just like our double wing. Notice our rules are all the same. So it looks the same. This is our 38 sweep out of box, but this is out of spin. So the one thing I like again out of spin is everybody's got to freeze here. If they don't freeze, we're just going to give it out. You get this guy coming off the edge, we're going to give it to that guy and he's going to take off. You know, you just got to be watching. Those guys upstairs become pretty important, or you can see very well on the field. If you ever, the other thing is, and this came from a college guy, but if you ever come to one of our games, you'll notice that Rick's usually about 40 yards away from me. The boxes, I don't know how big the box is, but he's at one end of the box. I'm always by the chains, but
by design.
With your coaches, a lot of guys want to stand right next to each other and hear everything. You know what? It's much more effective, and I forget what college coach told me this, but he even said on 7-on-7 drills, you notice where everybody stands? They stand in the back like this, making their calls and watching 7-on-7 during summer. He said, go stand on the sideline and look angles. Get out of their kids' way. You're just in the way. I know how many times I've run out of the way to get out of the way of the balls. It made sense to me, you know, go over and where you can see the angles and teach the kids from there, but give them room to play. Well, same thing on the sidelines. Rick can see a different angle than I can see, and then I have another guy, his son, who relays the plays on the headsets, and he has a different angle. So we get 3 different angles besides the guys upstairs trying to get the different thing and see what we need, what's going to open up. So that's another coaching tidbit for us. It's worked for us, and maybe it can work for you a little bit. It's just spin or sweep the opposite way. Now what we've done is put a flanker out. By putting the flanker out, we've usually moved somebody. In this case, probably the safety most of the time, depending on what defense they're in. But we see 3 deep a lot. I don't know what you guys see 3 deep more than you do anything else? Cover 3, or you or more cover 2 type stuff?
Cover 3.
It's 3. I was going to say 3 most of the time we do too, because there's so much spinning going on. They want that free safety to be able to run everywhere. This we just inverted, but these are just different ways by moving people around. Inverted the backfield, put the fly in a slot right here, blocking back, and now we shovel pass. The other thing on, this is sweeps and shovel passes, but guys, don't be afraid to shovel pass your tight ends. Don't be afraid to shovel pass your backs, your tight ends, your blocking back. You can put your blocking back in a wing and you can shovel pass. That's what we're doing with him right now. But shovel pass, you can do all kinds of things. Shovel to anybody. Okay, and make those guys are good athletes. I don't know about you, but our linebackers in Al Simmons, I don't know if you guys know Al Simmons, he's coach at Cal. He was in our office yesterday recruiting our running back as a safety. But he said, I'm no genius, but usually your linebackers are your best athletes. He said, it's hard to find good tight ends. Your linebackers are almost 99.9% always great tight ends. And it was funny because our inside backers are our tight ends. And I never gave it much thought. They just make great tight ends. They're not afraid to go across the middle and get hit because they see people cutting across the middle all the time. So think about that when you're thinking about guys to run those patterns inside. Use those linebackers. But we're leading, and we're get the spin action, and then we're going to shovel pass right back to the blocking back who's normally here and not doing a whole lot other than diving and taking the guy with him or blocking somebody. We're just opening things up. We brought somebody out here. Now he's going to have to chase and make a tackle. And that's basically what we're looking to do when we do that. Okay?
Coach?
Yes, sir.
Are your blocking assignments adjustable? Essentially, you talked about you were influenced blocking against one team. I mean, are you sometimes pulling guard tackle, sometimes pulling both guards? Are you mixing it up to so
we have
teams
rules.
Can't get a consistent key on you?
We have rules, and they do get consistent keys. We don't change until we know people are keying.
Okay.
You know what? If they can't stop us when we're doing our normal blocking, we don't need to influence anything. We don't need to show it. So, so we have rules. Yeah, if it's power, it's 5-hole, it's power. So, and coach will kind of hit this too, but power, so we know we're pulling guard and tackle.
Okay.
We may change it up and pull tight end, and if we have a slow tackle, for some reason he's not going to get there. Sometimes we'll just bring him across. We call it touchdown alley, like the back guy.
Right.
And we won't pull him, but we'll pull the tight end instead because he's fast and he can get there. So we'll make those adjustments due to personnel, or we'll just do it as a change in look. You only have to influence a couple times before people go, okay, we can't do that. And now you don't have to influence anymore.
Right.
We only had to influence a few times in the game to change the effect of the game, and then now we come back and run our normal stuff. So that's kind of our philosophy, But sometimes more than not, you get a good team, a well-coached team, and you have to do a little more sometimes. So. But this is all by rule. If it's an 8, a sweep's a sweep. We call a sweep's a sweep. Doesn't matter if it's an 8-hole shovel pass outside, outside trap, anything that's an 8 or a 7, we're going to pull both guards, or we're going to tag. Our onside tackle is going to pull. We double trap. We do some things like that. Those are all verb changes that kind of coach is going to draw and touch for you. But those are the things we do when we want to do something different. Bear is just double tight for us, but you see our run the same sweep out of that. This is just different ways to run the sweep, and like I said, you can have a copy of it real fast, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I'm going to draw some things in a few minutes. This is the tight end running the shovel pass. So we go fly, slot, the same thing. We actually put the slot right here. We're going to go ahead and block, depending on if there's anybody in the gap right here. And then the tight end's going to come behind. We're going to shovel pass the tight end. We still got the spin action, and it just gives a different look. I mean, you can utilize your talent. That's our biggest thing. Get everybody involved. I tell you what, when the tight end thinks he gets a chance to shovel pass, man, he's all fired up because he doesn't get to run nothing but drags and hitches most of the time, So we try to give him something to have fun. Our backfield actions, whirling and one back spinning. We don't get both back spinning across. Just some verbiage we use, but you can see sweeps. We inverted the backfield. We're doing all the same things out of one back. Rocker, he mentioned it earlier, is more of a jet sweep type. We go fast motion through. That's the only difference. rocker, he rocks back. That's Mark Bliss. We stole that from Mark. He runs that series really well. Let me get through this because I want to show the blocking coach going to do that. Some rocker sweeps, invert in the backfield, shovel pass with a false pull. So what we're doing here is pulling, going to trap, we're going to kick out, or let the end come, we're going to kick out the outside backer, we're going to bring him right behind, and he's going to actually let the fullback go through underneath him and block his guy for him. He's going to give me a false step and come back and catch the ball underneath, and you still got sweep backside action. That's fly sweep backside. SC is our formation. The two backs usually always in motion hard on jet look. Kind of showing you the patterns for if we don't make adjustments. I'm going to zip through. You guys saw this last year. So there's our jet sweep out of that.
What's the difference between SC and rocker?
SC and rocker is just
Personnel change.
wide. We run and it would be out of formation. So instead of having a wing back motion, we're having more be like a spread formation. Look with motion.
We're usually going to pull our fullback out and put our third running back in there.
Yeah, we don't go. Yeah, we get our blocking back out and we run. We have 3 tailbacks. That's why SC tailback nation. So we were blessed with. We got all our running backs back, and so we had to get the tailbacks in because they whine like babies all the time. They want to be in the game, so it gave us a way to think they were going to carry the ball. I'm going to talk about the tee today. The tee, I think, is one of the most effective. And Coach, I see you were running the tee. I love it. This. We started running this probably more than anything because I think you can sweep out of this. I'm going to draw in just a second, but we're getting this action. We like to run cross and drop him back. And we like to run cross and then run powers, through. But a whirly sweep where he actually fakes in front and he spins and gives it the sweep here or keeps it and sweeps that way. And now lead on the sweep or go him in motion. I mean, you can do so many things out of that tee and with everybody in there tight and freeze people that it's kind of fun. Or you just snap it to the 3-back or the 4-back and everybody leads, so that's kind of some ideas.
How deep are those backs?
Those backs are 4.5.
4.5 yards.
Yeah. Ours are pretty much always 4.5. Shovel option, you can shovel to any of the backs again or the tight ends out of the formation. I like to get the blocking back out of there or false pulling more than anything. We don't leave the blocking back sitting there too much. Or we will, we call fly trap. We trap with our, let him come through. And most guys are looking for a pulling guard. And we'll pull the guard and not block him and let that tackle come through, and then the fullback just knocks the crap out of him. That's a fun one too. Fullback likes that. You get real blindside traps. This is cross left, 38 quick pitch. It was kind of like what some of you were running, but this is out of the cross. We love this play. We run it both ways. We'll open up. We'll go same exact play. We'll go cross left, 38 quick pitch or 37 quick pitch. And we'll motion with it, motion away from it, or we'll motion with it, have a lead blocker. We'll run it with double split, which is gold for us. And then, we can be in a whole lot of sets with this and do the same exact, play. Thunder. This is a series that I was talking about. This is what we're going to run a lot of. We already run it. We can run regular traps with guards and double traps where we ride this 3-back through. And this is kind of a zone play, but we use double team combo blocks. Most zone teams, this is what cracks me up. Until this year, this is how smart coach I am for being old. I'm going to things, I'm going to what's inside zone, I'm watching outside zone, inside zone, I'm going to all these conferences, and finally I sit in long enough to realize that now all the colleges are doing, they're not zone blocking. We were all reaching all the time. Remember the zones, everybody's just reaching. They're all combo blocking now. They're all combo blocking. They're just doing, I told coach, I said, we can run zone now because we just run our own combo blocks. And the only difference is the way they're coming off to get the backers. And they designate where we don't. We have an area that we block to, and we have to convert that area. So hopefully we'll get to that. Coach will show it. Thunder tight, gold thunder spread. And I think I'm going to stop in here and draw a little bit. But just showing you, these are all some of these are general formations that we use. From here, it's all words on what we do. Bunch, we can run, sweep's great out of bunch. What's nice is, man, passing, we run power and sweep to death out of this stuff. And what else you can run out of this? Beast is a real good transition to this. Okay, what's nice is he just steps right up, and now you got beast and you direct snap. There's different things you can do. Out of our bunch series, we call it a zone play. Coach doesn't like that, but double shovel. We, you guys that haven't run it, it's great. I stole that from a little 8-man coach. He's one of my best friends, actually in-law now, Mike Dennis, and he runs some crazy stuff. But we ran this against Crenshaw. They say you can't run this stuff against big schools. We ran against Crenshaw. We run against Los Alamitos when we beat them 57 Modern Day, and they're like, where did that come from? So shovel plays, trips, old trips. Stinger. Oh, you guys, what's that? I know that.
Throw that
I know
one away,
that.
Coach.
Bring that back.
Yeah.
We refused to run that, Coach. I told you, I ain't doing it no more.
Was that A formation without the unbalanced line?
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of, you know, we run an A formation. We run A formation as puck formation. We've been running it for 2-minute drill. And we scored on it in our playoff game, and now they go in and say it's illegal. So we're still going to run it on 4th down. It's still going to be our punting formation because it's still in the rule book. You can do it on 4th down. But the bottom line is in Stinger, we put people in motion, and we just look to see where the athletes are. If the linemen are still in here covering, and they bring out their athletes out here, we're just going to run a streak. We usually do this with one or the other guys, run the other on a streak. We scored 4 weeks in a row with the same pass. You think they're watching film or something, you know? And these guys are still eligible, but obviously these guys aren't. It's just amazing to me. But just little twists, we practice it every, probably every other day, or about every other day. And then, one year our quarterback got smacked and got his hand broke, so everybody got cringes. That was his fault, I said, not mine. Double shovel passes, you can get, like I said, you can get this, but I want to get to a couple things here. Some shovel option plays. All right, before we go video cut-ups, can you cover that real quick, Bruce? Yeah, perfect. All right, I'm gonna hit the lights. So, the point I want to make out of what I'm doing today is this. This is going to take our simple, we'll go balanced spread, okay? We go Bruin if we're balanced. If not, we're unbalanced all the time. But anyway, this would be our normal formation. And we number our guys here. So we run tree patterns. Everybody's numbered in our formation. That's so they can all run running plays. Remember I said our shovel passes? 56 shovel pass, 65 shovel pass. So we kept our verbiage from our double wing. And that's why they're numbered. But we go left to right, we number our tree, and we can call our patterns. We can put anybody anywhere in the field we want. But the thing is, our rule is this. Depending on what defense, what do you guys see more than anything spread? What are you going to, probably a 30 or a 4, like an even front with, it could be anything. 4-4, we see a lot of 4-4. But anyway, okay, let's see this then. Okay, and we see that. Now we're going to see all kinds of things. Okay, we may see man zone. I mean, you can see a lot of things. A lot of times we're seeing that with this guy. And we'll see corner, and they'll play up or back depending on what they're going to do. And we'll see back or here. And how many do I got here? Should look like that, huh?
One more.
I got one more. Okay, so they don't usually stack them on us, but something like that. Okay, what we like to do is first thing we're going to see is this backer going to chase, or is the safety? Are they just going to bump? And is the safety going to chase? So we'll send this guy in motion, or we'll run SC. We'll go spread SC. So he goes in motion, and he's going to cut through. He runs a sweep on that. He's going to rock her back, come to the hole, right? And he'll step, and now he'll do this spin and come back. In passing, if we're going to pass. If not, he's just going to spin, ride it, and then he's going to do that. Quarterback is. So we get all these lifts. If we're running sweep and we're going to give, what we're doing here is we got guard pulling and guard pulling, and we're gonna block down all the time. So we're gonna get this, we're gonna get this, and we're gonna leave him alone for this guy here. And then we're gonna pull up inside here.
Tackle down on
Okay.
the inside.
Tackle down on the inside, okay? We always reach play side, and he would cut. He's not gonna reach us. A lot of times, we don't even block anybody here, we just go TDA. Because we don't think if we're running jet, these guys are fast enough. So, you got all this action over here. These guys are all chasing. They're all chasers. Okay? I'll take full speed and then run across the field trying to get us and make a tackle any day. So any way I can get that set up, we'll do that. What we'll do is then go trip, or we'll put him in motion ahead of time, and now anytime he's in motion, he kicks. He kicks, so even if he's chasing across or he's coming across, they're back 5, 10 yards deep. So what we're looking for on that is to get, we've already got this lead blocker on here, we're getting the same blocking, but now we got 2 blockers out front and a TDA coming across, which the safety comes across, he's just gonna come across and hit that safety and just ride him that way, and we're looking for this. Cut back all the time. So those are the kind of things we're doing, moving people around. The other thing we can do is, before we get too messed up here, is not run rocker, but we just go fly rip, which would be him in motion. We'll go fly rip hard, and he'll go in motion, and then we'll quick pitch behind him. He'll just turn and fire the quick pitch. So now we've gained another blocker. In motion, ball carrier, who we didn't have before. Usually he rockers and goes into play. So now you gain another blocker. Okay? And then we spin, we just spin and come right back in here with him. So they still got this, they still have to play our quarterback. So we're always going to try and have somebody freeze, and we're going to try and overload the side. The other thing we'll do, and we can do it out of thunder, I'll stay right out of spread. So, in fact, let's put us in unbalanced, because we're going to have a lot. Okay, so then what we'll do is go ahead and call spread trips. So we're here. Anytime we don't have a motion man, okay, he's now, if we're direct snap and we have a lead blocker, we go ahead, or anytime we don't have motion, we stock him, and we're still blocking down. Our rules stay the same, okay? And he'll lead, and we'll just direct snap to the 3-back, and we'll go. Now we got all those people. And when we're unbalanced, it's amazing how many times they'll put this guy here head up, right? And try and beat it across, and they'll put an outside backer there, right? We love that, because what we have now is, we have this, he doesn't even have to block him. We tag it and come down hard on that end, have the guard, they do their normal pull. He doesn't have to look here, so he's looking inside. He's coming inside, and we have another blocker. So now we just added another blocker by just moving one guy. I guess that's the point. Now add that into every formation. Let's do this. Yeah, let's do this. Here. Move him up a little bit. Here, and here, and here. So now we're in box. We do the same things. Okay? We'll bring him out and either motion him. If he's in motion, what's he got to do? If he's in motion to the sweep,
Kick out.
kick out. Down, down, lead, direct snap. Okay? For different looks, we'll whirly, we'll have him catch it, give it. Now we will keep it and lead him through too. So keeps them honest. You got to keep them honest. You got to be able to run inside and outside. But even though they think sweep, we've still got them outnumbered. How many teams have you ever saw that when you get into a formation and they think you're going to run sweep, they do this? And they just don't do that. They're not going to give you this because we'll sweep back the other way. And you can run all your sweeps back the opposite way. You can do the same thing by putting him in motion. Okay, corner's here, so all we do is put him in motion, crack, tag. It'd be with the end, it's not tag, it's an E word. Okay, and then we snap to the quarterback, lead block, here, guard pull, and we'll go. You see anybody over there? So that's kind of what I want to leave you with today, keeping it under an hour, best we can. I'm going to show you some sweeps. We got about 30 sweeps here that are different formations, different things. But the idea is use your people to move people around. See what they're going to do. And boy, when you find out, and if they're consistent, how long is it going to take them to get out of it? Keep running it till they get out and change. You know what? If it's not broke, don't change it, right? Coach will tell you, because he's the one that asked the question. I got a question one time. I ran 10 pitches in a row to exactly the same side. And Richie, his son, we call him junior and senior, Richie comes over to me and he goes, "Hey, my dad has a question for you." And I said, "Well, what is it?" You know, so I'm like, "Well, what is it? I'm watching what's going on." He said, he wants to know if you can run that play to the other side. And I said, "Okay." But you know what? You don't have to. You don't have to change it if you don't want to. Okay? I think the first play is pitch, double wing pitch that got on.
He got on by accident, guys, so it's not a switch.
We're trying to figure out our Landro. Coach and I are the old guys. The young guys just play with it and they do everything
It'll
for
open
us,
up all the way by
but
itself.
they don't tell us how to use it. You know, so we have to figure
It'll
it out
go ahead
for
and open up by
ourselves.
itself. There we go.
There it is.
Okay, his first play is the power, so don't even worry about this, guys.
But
Good play.
we do sweep the same play as the sweep. We just call it toss sweep, and we pull the guards, both guards. And it turns into a sweep. So we run sweep out of double wing the same way, pitching it as much as we do hand it off.
This was
More blockers.
playoff game here.
Playoff game, Rancho Cucamonga, #1 ranked team, undefeated. They went undefeated, won the CIF championship. Sweep, they knew it's coming, it's our #1 play. Get out of your guys' way. You see, Coach? Yeah. Okay. That we're in slot, I don't know if you saw it, run it back. We do this, you guys have problems with guys coming off the edge, we heard that earlier. Freeze it when you get the formation, if you would, Bruce. We use this a lot when, see these fast guy right here, see him tilted? So what we do is we bastard split our tight end and we bring our back inside. So now he's inside, they can't get to him. And we just run a real quick handoff. See how he's inside? Mm-hmm. He's inside the tight end. So we've got back and tight end. Sorry, back inside the tackle in the end.
Take a look at the linebackers here and watch how they're reading our guards and a couple plays.
Yeah, a couple plays you'll see what we were talking about.
That's what we're talking about with the false ball.
This is a game that's going back and forth, and we're actually ahead 17-7 in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes to go. Knocking them off. They didn't want to play us. We didn't want to play them. They're athletic and fast and big, but we drew each other in the first round. It was kind of I don't know how it happened, but it happened. It's one of the things why God said, hey, there just was no other way. Here's buck lateral. It's a sweep.
Okay.
Buck lateral is a good play to test and see what they're
Here's our first false pull with our guards here.
Buck lateral is still, for us, it's an 8, so our guards are still pulling like it's sweep.
Our guards are pulling right, we're going left. Look where the linebackers
Now we
are.
get 15. Now watch.
This is
the
back-to-back
very next
plays.
play.
Back-to-back
I said,
plays.
watch, coach, we're going to do it again. Watch what happens. Watch the linebackers. I said, we were guessing, and I said, watch. And we knew then, and the very next play, watch what happens. Watch the linebackers. Whoops. Okay, it's coming up right here. Check out the middle backers. You're going to love this. Freaking spinner guys love this stuff right here. Look at the backers over here, man. Isn't that sweet, man? You gotta love it, man. On the sidelines, you think they aren't just going, what the heck did they do? What did they run? What did they run? Did you see it, Coach? I didn't see it. It's comedy, man. We love it. The coach will tell you, I'm laughing on the sidelines right now. Chain guys are laughing. They couldn't believe it either. They're like, man, you're right.
You got nowhere to block.
Yeah, nobody. We got guys running downfield. They're wondering, what are we doing? We're yelling at them. Get downfield. Just keep going.
Yeah, he came out and didn't have nobody there.
These guys are with our second and our third backs, and our second lineman right here running this game was kinda out of hand. This is just to
That was
show you,
Rocker.
this is to show you that you, against their first team defense, we're running our seconds and thirds, and we're still
They're
successful.
still able to do it. Anybody, we feel like anybody, and we don't cut anybody, guys, on our team. We try and find a place for everybody. It's like that philosophy I was talking to you about earlier. If we're trying to help kids, you know what? We take special ed kids, and we've had special ed kids in our program. They got runs during the year. I almost got killed because I was worried about my job if they got hit. But man, when it works, everybody's excited, and the whole team's excited. The stands are crazy. And we had kindergarten level kid run, got in 3 plays in a row, and he thought it was the greatest thing on earth. And the helmet hurt him too much, so he decided he wanted to be water boy again. But it was the neatest thing.
Direct snap.
This is just
there.
direct snap sweep,
You haven't done that much in the
I feel like
past.
you didn't put your swinging.
different formation. What's that?
You didn't put your swinging gate foot on?
You know what? I should have. We might have it on. I think it's on our. It's on our
That's
highlight film. Yeah, it's on our
our
highlight film.
starting quarter.
Bruce has got both of them.
A lot more direct
So we make
Yeah,
copies.
I didn't notice in the past that much.
Yes, it's up to right.
There's our
Nice
T.
field.
That was a T formation, direct snap sweep. Just showing you different, Rick copied just some different formations so you can see we're running out of everything and moving people around.
Same,
Like the
same
slot,
blocking
and,
scheme, never changes on us for blocking unless we call it out.
We were a very average team this year. We said this year to get us, we only lost 2 off each side of the ball, and we almost beat the #1 team. So we're pretty excited about this year. And the next couple of years, actually. We've got already, our running back #2's already got 2 Pac-10 offers, and our kicker's gonna be a Pac-10 guy, and we should have maybe 4 more guys get offered on here, and I don't think they're as good as some of the other kids we've had that got offers, but, you know, if the team's doing well, I always tell the kids, look at the guards get out there, they know it's coming, but they're still out there.
This is beautiful.
And we just keep running it, even though they know it's coming. I think it's how you set things up and moving people around. Dictate to the offense. Don't let them dictate what you can run. Dictate what you want to run. They're just using motion. That's our fullback. He's got the kick out block. He's chasing the guy. Missed him.
It's a tiki punch, he gets a little crazy.
He's a Samoan. He's a great guy.
He's a little excited.
You guys are a little excited. He's going to be a senior this year. He should be a little better. There's T. There's our cross. That's T cross right, and he cut it back, but that was sweep. That was 47 sweep. That was the one we drew on the board for you a little bit earlier, or had on the board.
For us, it doesn't matter where on the field, we're gonna run sweep and on our own 1 yard line.
Yeah, we'll run sweep. We'll run sweep on the half-inch line. A lot of times we have that much belief in it. We played a tough schedule this year, and our first 5 games, we could have been 0-5. We ended up 3-2, and we lost the
3-2
fourth quarter.
3-1-1.
We lost one on the very last play of the game.
3-1-1, coach, we tied one.
3-1. Oh yeah, 3-1-1. We tied one, and we lost the other one on the very last play of the game. But Vista Marietta, that 15-14 game I told you. But we played. Every team we played was in the semis or better of the playoffs, and we survived it and went on. We got it again this year, but hopefully we'll be. There's our quick pitch sweep. Our kids really like that. I don't know what you said your kids latched on. Ours like that too. So you can do a lot in this direction, and then you can go with the power. You can go with it, or you can run away from it to the weak side too. So don't be afraid to run it both ways. I don't know if you've tested with that, but
Actually, we have. We bring our ace back in motion. And
yeah.
Here's our diamond formation, coach didn't show you. So you run our sweep to our up back.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We put in a new. Actually, we've done it for a couple of years, but started running it a lot last year as a new look. We run spinner out of our quarterback under center.
Yeah.
See that?
Our 2 backs cross, tight backs cross.
All it is spinner, but we have our quarterback just turns. He's this real tight quarters, turns and lets the backs do the fake, and he gives the one that takes it. So it's actually taking the single wing concept. We kind of made that up, and it's been working real well. It gave us a deep back that could come full speed and run zone for us. Because we had those tailbacks we were talking, we want to know how to use them a little better. But they're all coming back. We got the whole backfield's come back, except for our quarterback, and our new quarterback's better. So he's only going to be a sophomore.
He only did that once. He knew better after that one.
He's really an average running back,
Yeah, he is.
but he's got a good frame, good lineage. His dad was a good player, and he's already got 3 offers. Like I said, we're as surprised as anybody. But he runs funny. If you look at him run, but he runs hard. They just didn't know where the ball was. That's the most fun part of this single wing, I think there is being able to fool people. Spread, and we ran SC out of that. Oh, that was SC actually, sorry.
Motion. We get that a lot.
That's our, one of the jet sweep, look at that, spread. We call that brothers. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but we actually lined up off the tight end, or we split the end off the tackle, and we run side by side with our 2 backs. And we call that brothers, because you're like, brothers right next to each other, but it's a real good deal. You get great down blocks on the lead block outside. It's kind of like a pick, but, we don't run picks. But you can run a pick play off of that. In fact, I'll draw it for you in a second. That's been a really good play for us.
Can you run that back?
Yep. Run that back, Bruce, that one. And it's people, that sometimes we've had guys tell us, we don't even practice against your offense. We're just trying to run our rules. I'm like, okay. But, because it's too hard to emulate it, whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, they're doing it here though.
Yeah.
See how they're back down inside there?
I was thinking they did it for your double wing.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were saying, hey, we're gonna pile it up inside, but you guys run sweep so much.
Yeah.
It looks like they're in a 40 front, so
Okay.
they're in
Bruce,
playing a
can you run
7
this from back?
technique and
It's like we're gonna run it no matter what.
banking on the outside.
Coach, if you want to watch this, on the left-hand side, our guard pulls, watch our tackle down on his angle block and our center block and play side. Watch what they do with this big wrecker here.
Oh, they just swash it.
And that's because they get on the hip. The one guy's got on the hip and we're lifting up underneath, like I said, and there's no place for him to go.
We actually got that from a guy at the National
Yeah.
Symposium. That really helped us out. And, guys, it's so neat. It's a neat feeling when people you've been talking to. I don't know if you guys know Leonard Johnson.
Yeah, Leonard Johnson.
Leonard Johnson coaches at an all-black school in South Carolina, North Carolina. And he's been following us. We've been helping him for years, and he's been giving us some stuff. And he won the state championship. The first thing he did was call us and thank us. And I said, wait a minute, Coach, you just won the state championship. I said, we didn't win it. You guys won. But he said, it's your stuff. And I said, no, you guys have to run it. But you know what? That's what it's about, sharing with each other. And whenever one of us can be successful, man, I get pumped when you guys win, or you hear I win. Or it's all about sharing and getting better and watching each other
Can you
do
explain
well.
that block a little bit when you have time?
Sure.
You said you get on his outside hip?
Yeah, he's gonna speak
Yeah,
on that
I'll
next.
go through that when I get up there, Coach.
He can use you because my hips
We're
are.
probably gonna throw out a lot of everything I said anyway, because Coach already stepped on all of it. So. No, but we'll go.
Coach and I talk about, a lot of times when we present separate, we just come up together because it's a lot easier to stop and show. We did that last year, but I told him he's gotta get on his own now. So. I'm getting old, he may have to take over.
Yeah, this team's doing the same thing.
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
seen a lot,
See,
that's what
more
we're
of
saying,
a
but it's
30.
a Silverado.
We're getting a lot of that 30.
Yeah, but
look
even
now.
the 30, 40, I mean, they're giving you the edge
Yeah,
with
they're
the down.
playing, they're playing 30 inside and saying, okay, beat
Bruce,
our line
this team came out, nobody went to a 3-point stance. in the
Yeah, it's
first
like they're
game.
thinking we're just gonna change it to
Yeah,
sideline.
we're gonna see where you're going, where the ball is, we're gonna find it, and then we're gonna go after it. And they were fast, but they ended up in the semifinals.
Who is this?
Silverado. And we were like, wait a minute, and then they went and started cutting us, especially when we were in our double wing, they wanted to cut, so.
Missed our crack there, we would have had a great play
Yeah,
going
it would've been gone if you'd hit the crack.
Yeah, we can't understand why when they run the 30, they come in almost
Well,
with
you-
double eagle looking.
And they're doing their 40 here too. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
they're just saying, please go outside on us.
But see them trying to find the ball, nobody knew where the ball was there. They finally found it, and the guy ran it down.
So they got 8 guys, 5 to 6 yards off the ball.
This was probably the worst line coach has had in the 9 years we've been here, 10 years we've been together.
You know, like this
And,
team,
average.
Unexpected.
We were playing better. This is La Quinta.
Look, Quinta, this is a well-coached team, he knows how
Very
to
well
play
coached
us.
team.
We have wars with him every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you put your two best kids at end
Right.
and just say, beat us with strength.
That's Dan. He had a big line. They were all seniors. They're all back. He had his whole line back. So this was a pretty tough game. We won it, but it was very close. That was a rocker. Just punch it down the field. I always tell the kids, I think single wing teams, double wing teams are the same way. They get kind of spoiled because when you get 5 yards, they think it's a downer.
Yeah.
They look at, it's always like, yeah, coach, we only got 5 yards, and you gotta be careful how you think. I told them 2 of those, you got a first down, man. So we're always trying to get the big play, and you don't need the big play. A couple things real quick, and I'll finish. You guys take, you can pick it up here, all right? You guys can see it, but one key was when Coach said we missed the crack block. A lot of teams, when they crack, they step and go down, or they go hard at the crack. One thing we do is I always tell our kids to take a step back and then come at the angle. Helps them with their angle. Just a little coaching tidbit. I don't know if you've seen that before. Somebody showed that to me, and then scream at them right before you hit them so they turn and look. That's a good tidbit. And then I forgot what the other one I was going to show us. Anyway,
Yeah. Watch out.
Hey!
Yeah, just scream at
What's your first reaction is? And they knock your head off.
I guess.
Let me show you this, guys. This is
Split right brothers.
I didn't show you this. Yeah, this has been a great play for us. We run it out of balance or unbalance.
We run on our kickoff return with my cross.
Yeah, crossing.
With 6 guys crossing, and that's what they're all screaming.
They have to.
This is kind of like single wing play, but we always do this. We always come down and block with the outside guy, come off inside guy to the flats, come here, so you got your crossing pattern, and then we come here, right here, and set in the middle of the field. So you got your slant, back to the middle of the field, and what we tell this guy is, right here, is to block him, then get off of him and just sit. We run it on the goal line a lot. This is our 2-point play a lot. You just sit right there right on the goal line. He always leads, and we try and get him outside. So it's sweep first. Quarterbacks know, run first. Even though it's a passing formation, run first. If it's, we've got our guards pulling, but they pull flat. So they're always coming out. They're always in the backfield. So we get 3 blockers for sweep first. And we try and draw that corner. He just goes like this, baits that corner, and get that corner to have to come loose. If we can get outside this block, we know we can get him coming, then we just bloop it right over the top. Okay?
Our guards stay flat unless they
They
hear,
pull hard, so
unless they
they
hear
run.
run.
Yeah,
If they're on the flat line of scrimmage, because we're thinking pass, until that quarterback tells them, no, I'm out there. Run, then they turn up and start fighting.
We're running out of tight, same thing, tight. All we do is change our patterns. So he runs that corner route where you toss it over high, and then he comes down hard, he goes hard to the flats, does the same thing, block, come here, he's got the same pattern, and we're leading. All the same play, run it out tight. We just run direct snap, sweep, or we can bring guys in motion. Now you can do all kinds of things. Yeah, you can do, bring him over here, leave him there, bring him out in the flanker, because that's our fullback, run him in motion, and do the same things we were talking about earlier. So just, those are the things we were talking about. Hopefully, like I said, we could talk forever. I love offense. I used to be a defensive coach, believe it or not. Colton is the first job that I didn't call the defense. First time it's like 20 years that I didn't call both sides of the ball. Man, how smart is that? This is a saying that I got, life's like a coin. You can spend it any way you want, but you only get to spend it once. I think that's a pretty good idea for your kids, to let them know that each day is a blessing. I get up in the morning, I thank the Lord for letting me have another day. And also, this picture was kind of meant a lot to me. I'm kind of a pretty patriotic guy, but with our situation that we got going on overseas right now, our whole family, my dad was in the service, but I wasn't, and none of us were, but now I've got a son that just joined the Army, so, I think we ought to be praying for our guys overseas. A lot of them might make it back, and I don't know about you guys, I've had a lot of kids over there now. And knock on wood, I haven't lost one yet, and they've all come back. So I pray every day for those kids that they'll come back safe, along with my own. So thanks, guys. Any questions? You have any questions? Or my information will come up here. But do you have any questions, guys? Anything at all, ever call. And I hope I can do the same thing, because I'm the same way. I get your films, you little guys. A lot of times you think that you go overlooked, by the high school guys. I got so many films at home of little guys teams, and I watch them as a coach. I try and get my junior All-American kids, our coaches, to watch them, because they don't up here.